Hey everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, home of your classic joints. Man, we're having fun. We're having fun so far. So on the phone, I've got a good friend of ours on the show. Been on a bunch of times, but every single time I have to say the feedback I get from these conversations are some of the best. Chip Paul, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Waxy, how are you doing?
Good, my family. So I got Chip Paul on the line. Now, Chip Paul, just for you folks out there that have learned about your endocannabinoid system, your master control system from this show, I want to say this is the guy that inspired it all, man. We were just talking about grass before we met this cat. So we got Chip Paul on the line, endocannabinoid forensic researcher. And I had to learn how to say all those words, and you seem to have learned a lot about everything to do with those words. So, Chip Paul, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Waxy. It's nice to be here, and I don't know if you guys are getting all this sleet, but here in Tulsa, we're looking at a couple of inches of sleet out on the ground. So
we're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, it's definitely here. There's no doubt about it. So tell everybody out there about GnuPharma and kind of some exciting stuff that you've got going on, with your radio show.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up real quick, Chip. You've got a new radio show, right?
Yeah, so we're going to be starting an hour here in Tulsa, probably 4 to 5 p.m. and probably on a Wednesday is what we're looking at. But we'll be talking about the endocannabinoid system, and again, an hour, as you guys know, is on the back end, I have mad respect for everyone that does radio, because just doing an hour a week is a lot of time on the back end and planning and marketing and everything that kind of goes along with that. Anyway,
I want to touch on it real quick, Chip, because you're going to experience something that we've experienced on this show, and that's the passion of it. So it is a lot of work, man, that you're going to go through with this thing, and you're going to experience a lot of heartache and headache, but for real, what you're going to experience real fast is the same thing we did. It's a passion play, bro. Like, the energy that you're going to experience from the plant, from being a voice for it, is a totally different ballgame than just smoking it.
Oh, completely get that. And believe, like, in a probably different silo, I completely feel that now, because I research it, I love it. I, literally kind of massage it in my head every morning, and it's my inspiration, really, for everything that I've done. But just trying to put together content, so, okay, well, what are we going to talk about this week? And that's harder than it looks, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying. But we've got a lot of content. We're going to be talking a lot about the endocannabinoid system. We're going to be going into a lot of detail about how the endocannabinoid system works. We're going to have a lot of opportunities for people to participate. So it should be fun, and it's going to be a little different than what you built, but it will be similar, So we're all about trying to just educate people here about, we have so much power over our health, right? And that's what we're really all kind of hitting on. Gosh, we don't need this pharma, false idol kind of standing between us and the God-given cures, right?
Exactly.
It's all about the seed we can put in the ground. It should be completely, it should be our freedom to put that seed in the ground and to medicate ourselves like people did 100 years ago. All this is go back to the history and how it's just recycling itself. And what you do, Chip, from a compounding perspective, that's just history recycling itself.
Where we were at, this is crazy, guys, but this is true. So we were further along, no joke, in medicine around the turn of the 1900s, right? So early 1900s. We had taken plants and we had figured out that plants have some, sort of subchemicals or subparts in them that were really the powerful things that affected us, things called flavonoids or alkaloids or terpenes or cannabinoids in the case of cannabis. But we'd figured that out, right? And we'd figured out how to use those things more and more powerfully. So we were using nature in a great way, and then we kind of had these, petroleum elitists come along and take over our medical system.
Yeah,
and they literally did that with money.
Chip, isn't it weird how we went from plant-based science to criminalizing that plant-based science and then to synthesizing that plant-based science. It's really weird how they came through, they made us illegal, and then they went and they made opioids and these things that are synthesized BS versions of what we've got going on. It's the whole, when you say history repeats itself, like, I'm super scared they're going to come in and try and stomp us out again.
Well, exactly. And when you begin to see, so here's kind of the scary thing, and just here's a heads up. If you want to play kind of evil genius, if you will, how do you wreck our good thing? And again, we've got a big uprising of, we the people, let's say.
Right.
We're beginning to change things, right? The cannabis folks, the green movement, we're really beginning to change science. We're really beginning to change medicine. We're making a difference. A real easy way to wreck us is, put some goofy stuff at the convenience store that we call legal. We need to be careful of that. We need to protect consumer safety. We need to not get excited just because something gets us high and sold at a convenience store.
Let's I know not to swerve off topic, Chip, but I want to make that a very valid point. That's something I think about a lot. Is I get the whole legalization, let's normalize it, let's get it everywhere type thing, but also please don't dilute my plant as a medicine. I still need to get into hospitals, and you guys are trying to put me in 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and again, it's not that we shouldn't be everywhere and it shouldn't be like tomatoes, and I have that vibe, but
right,
it's there's more to it than that. We have to break down walls. We have to break down all these old barriers, and there's sort of a protocol to do that. So why not just play their game? That's what I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, all we got to do is copy the path that they've already laid out. So let's just do that.
Yeah, you say play their game. I say let's just take the blueprints from them and do it ourselves. But yeah, their path was correct. Like, let's make sure that people understand this medicine is medicine.
Well, and I guess the path that they've sold us on. So,
right.
So is the sort of mission of the FDA a good thing? Well, yeah. I mean, protecting consumer safety, protecting our, health, and making sure products that hit the market are not going to kill us, and they're safe for our consumption, and people don't make false claims about them. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Well, let's do that proper, not do that as a wall for pharma. Okay,
right.
So noble mission, not so noble, in kind of reality. And if you look at kind of the firewalls and how they firewall natural products, not so good, right?
Right.
So, let's change that. And again, I think those conversations are happening. I'm having those conversations nationally, which is kind of cool. Those conversations are happening, so that's a good thing. We're going through a big change in our nation.
So you've checked off a bucket list of mine that I want to check off so bad. That's that TED Talk, man. You got your own TED Talk?
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
And was I not allowed to say? I couldn't say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you can say it.
Okay,
so
all right.
now, we couldn't say it for a while, but it's very exciting for me. It's a bucket list thing for me too. I was selected, which is cool. But the cool thing though also is just I'm going to talk about the endocannabinoid system, and this is Main Street, right? This is TED Talk with the endocannabinoid system. So that is a barrier that potentially could get broken down. Kind of already is being broken down.
Now for my listeners out there, that's important for us, people like myself, for Chip Paul, Tim Harms, Steve Wheeler. It's important for us and for you listeners out there, because TED, they talk about all these TED Talks. They're massive, right? They get a lot of listeners, and they talk about all these great subjects from everything from Silicon Valley to what's happening with the new way a certain cast is made or something like that. But for cannabis to be on that stage is super incredible. But let me tell you all something out there. You guys listening to me, this is what's real. For me, for Chip Paul to represent that plant on that stage in front of millions and millions of people, to me, we've broken a barrier, busted down a stigma, changed a fear that definitely, I have to say, man, like you've taken it to another step, and I'm grateful to be your friend and to see you take part in that.
Oh, thank you, man. That's nice to say, and it just I'm honored for the opportunity. Really, it. Gosh, it just, what you and I know can just change the world, right? And all your listeners, so how do we fight this entrenched system? Well, we got to have champions, and I'm the wrong champion for certain things. That we need, down my avenue, I need PhD champions and MD champions, right? And that, yeah.
With that in mind, I mean, are you finding that, a lot of the younger doctors are steering more towards the cannabis industry now based off of some of the new, research that's been, proven?
It's so the medical system is, I think it'll happen in research really first, and then the research will drive sort of changes into the entrenched medical system. One of the biggest things to happen, I think, for real research on the endocannabinoid system was Pfizer buying Arena Pharmaceuticals for $6 billion.
I didn't want to bring down the room, but the question you asked, Steve, opens up a hurt locker, and that's the fact that it's a true story that Western medicine will not accept our cannabis until folks present it to them. Now, the only people that have Western medicine's ears are people like Chip's talking about, Pfizer, the companies that are already out there making millions of dollars for these hospitals, this streamline of medicine, this Western culture medicine that we have. Like you asked the question. The truth is, until we sell these products to these ignorant cats out there that have done what they've done with opioids and all that, until they present the product, we just can't be in the room. And that's the sad part about it, because the federal government has their stipulations on what's legal, and the fact is we're still Schedule 1 narcotic when we shouldn't be. Right. We shouldn't be scheduled at all.
Right.
But here's the thing. We're going to be in those rooms where the narcotics are, and they're all going away. The narcotics will find their way out of the room, and Pfizer will accept these medicines because of the work like people like Chip Paul are putting in.
There you go.
And I'm telling you guys, I'm a believer. I'm a very spiritual person, as I know you guys are. And I'm seeing God's hand in this. It just, it's amazing kind of to watch. And it just, big things are going to happen pretty soon. I think really cool things.
Praise the Lord on that.
You just sent a lot of people out there with goosebumps, brother. Let me tell you.
That made the hair on the back of the neck stand up.
Folks, that's Chip Paul. That's an endoforensic.
There you go.
That's an endocannabinoid forensic researcher. Chip, we really appreciate you being on the show. And we've got to cut it because we've let a lot of these interviews go a little long today because they're so darn good. But thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the show next time. And we want to promote your radio show, so you make sure you have us on there as well. All right, everybody.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, guys.
You bet, Chip.
Bye-bye.
We love you, brother. All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick commercial break and maybe come back with, we'll be back with Izzy Clausen, who's going to do Terp Talk with us. We're going to talk about some terpenes. Folks, thanks for listening. Steve, thanks for putting me on. Let's pay some bills.